from Los Angeles, California, we're the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Hello there, friends! Welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name's Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who threw his pants and underwear out the window and is currently stroking his boner like a Bond villain strokes a cat. That's Geoff Clark.
Thanks for having me. I kind of like that intro more than the recent ones.
And transmitting to us from the Technodrome, the bearded, booger-eating, talking brain known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo. Brah, brah.
Yep, made Geoff a Bond villain and Shuddy a Ninja Turtle villain. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I fucks with that.
Man, you've really just been stomping all over Geoff's carcass this weekend, huh?
Well, you know, Geoff is the one that instigated all of that.
And
you will notice that in all of the shit talking that went back and forth between Geoff and I since the Giants were announced as the Eagles' opponent was all initiated by Geoff.
Oh, well, I kind of tune out when you guys are texting the thread with sports crap. I was even trying to just like crowbar shit in. And you guys just like steamrolled right over it. Fuck that anyway. The Eagles flew all over your giant corpses and pooped on them.
My favorite was when I texted near the end of the game. It said, "Hey Geoff," and I'm looking at my watch and it's like 10:50 Eastern, so it's 7:50 out there. And Geoff's response is just, "I'm sleeping."
Well, at least you didn't text him a picture of your wiener this time.
Yeah, that's kind of that scarred me last time, and I was like, you know what? Let me just get in front of the shit talking now, because it could get real bad for me. And at least I've said good things up front to defend myself and my position.
I don't like sports anymore.
When it was announced that the Eagles were playing the Giants, I really felt like I had wasted that dick pic over a meaningless Devils Rangers game years ago. Like that.
Yeah. Do you even care about hockey anymore, Geoff? I feel like I never even hear you talk about it. Is hockey still around?
Yeah. My brother actually follows hockey pretty consistently. And I watched some Ranger games here or there. Growing up, I was a huge Ranger fan and I played a lot of hockey. But I really haven't honestly paid attention much to it. I will when the playoffs start, but that makes me a fucking lame LA fair weather fan. So I don't say like I'm that big into hockey.
Gotcha.
But I don't think Shuddy danced on my grave too much, not as much as you're suggesting. I think you just want to intro or spin it that way so he could dance on my grave here. So
no, well, I saw that right when we started.
Now I'm kind of pissed off at you.
He tugged on his Eagles hat, and I was like, "Oh, that I feel like that's a dig at Geoff."
It was. I mean, I am in all Eagles gear specifically for that reason, but no, that was just me adjusting my hat because it was up a little bit. So I
didn't even notice what it was until you drew attention to it, and I was like, "Oh, an Eagles." I didn't even know that your shirt just looks like a sugar skull wearing a cap.
Well, you can't really see it because it all blends in. But
I see it now. There's an Eagles logo.
Yeah, and it says Eagles down here.
Ah, gotcha. All right. Yeah, so I don't know. And then you were like, I forget what the jokes were, but you were taking some shots over the group text. I was like, oh, this is what it's like to be a sports fan. That would be like...
I got real quiet real quick, though, because my team got fucking curb stomped.
But
truck sticked as well.
It's funny, like, you guys starting these, friendly rivalries and talking shit. That would be like if I went and saw, Avengers Endgame, and then I'm texting Geoff when I get out of the movie, be like, oh, in your face, the Avengers just fucking stomped Thanos. It's like, you didn't fucking help them. You didn't do anything. How are you tap dancing on me over this?
Yeah,
it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different in that people's emotions and identities are, I think, interlocked more with sports teams than movie franchises, unless you're one of those weirdos.
Yeah, that has to go to group therapy because Avatar is so cool and that land doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with it. So I think that's part of what it is. Like, we feel a bond with the team.
Gotcha.
So yes, we didn't actually do anything, but
it's still
Geoff
fun.
is just as connected with the Giants as I am with the Eagles. So it's kind of
fair enough.
Like, I would be straight up. I would not be as okay with things as Geoff is today if the roles were reversed.
Well, I could only imagine if you had anything to do with the Eagles. Like, if you were the guy that did their laundry or something. Like, you washed all their jerseys and shit. Like, oh, that's right. I washed those jerseys so good. All those extra molecules that got washed off.
That could never happen. You've seen me when I've seen people that I don't know what the right word, but you've seen me around famous people before. You know how I get. There's no way I could be anywhere near anyone in the Philadelphia Eagles organization.
That's true. When we had Doug Benson on the show, you basically hid under the table the whole show.
Geoff, the best part of the game, I think, was when the Eagles faked the 2-point conversion. And after the Eagles call the timeout, they cut to the sideline, and Nick Sirianni's just walking up, and he screams, "I know what the fuck I'm doing." Walks away.
Yeah. He does a great job with all those situational things. Like, I picked up on it as it was happening. I was like, all right, this guy's just, he's got timeouts to burn. Maybe he can get a freebie. It doesn't really matter. So whatever. Like, you're playing with house money on a 1 or 2 point play. It's just like little things like that where it's like, I didn't think much of Nick Sirianni coming in to the job, but he continues to prove that he knows what he's fucking doing out there.
Well, this has been your MSPH Sports Minute. Point.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk much about fucking sports moving forward. I'll tell you that. Jesus Christ.
You have something for us, don't you, Kevin?
A little bit. So I'm trying to give these little micro updates as things go along with the movie that I'm making, and I keep doing this because I know there are a lot of people curious about it and want to see something finally come to fruition. But I'm also doing it to sort of hold my feet to the fire, because if I make this big of a deal out of it and then end up giving up and not making the movie, I'm going to look like the biggest ass clown in the world. So I'm just fucking pot committed at this point. And it has to happen.
It's built-in accountability for you.
Exactly.
What you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing.
So I'm trying to at least every day make even the teeniest, tiniest of steps just to keep forward momentum going, because when there isn't any, even if it's 24, 48 hours, I start getting really fucking antsy and my brain turns against me. So I'm meeting with a director of photography tomorrow, who is usually the first hire when you're doing, especially like an indie film like this. So if this guy comes aboard, I really, really have to step things up. And, I had a big meeting with a producer guy that I knew to answer a whole bunch of my questions and give me more updates on budget and stuff like that. And the biggest thing, in front of me now, my biggest obstacle is location scouting. So I basically need a 1-bedroom apartment to film in. And I have literally texted every single person I know in LA and told them to text every single person they know in LA. Because I would move all of my shit out of here and film it here. But, this isn't a particularly nice apartment. Especially as far as rent goes in Southern California. It's not, an expensive place. But for some reason, these fuckers put in these like shelves all over the place, like built into the wall, and crown molding on the ceiling and halfway up the wall. And then there's like this dividing wall right here. There's shelves built into this wall and then a massive cutout for where you'd put a flat screen. So it doesn't look like, two struggling people are living in it. If you can't, like, I can't,
right.
I can't
Just
exactly.
wait until you move to your next apartment.
Well, the one of the biggest things is, so here's the biggest pain in the ass with all of this. So I was kind of thinking, okay, what about a workaround? Let's rent a soundstage. 80% of the John Cooper movie, which is basically a fake documentary about a fake A-list celebrity who was king of the world, biggest star going, and then his behavior and hard partying pretty much got him blacklisted from the industry. He lost all of his money, disappeared from the public eye, and was homeless. And then a documentary crew finds him after 5 years living on the couch of his biggest fan in a one-bedroom apartment. And then the whole movie is basically them cataloging him as he tries to rebuild his career and just has all these horrible ideas for how he can get back in the spotlight and have a career again. And so 80 to 85% of the movie takes place in this apartment. So the producer did a schedule for me, and it looks like you would need 14 shooting days in the apartment, which if you're shooting for 6 days a week, taking Sundays off, it's 15 to 16-hour days. So you need a place where crew coming in and out, a couple scenes where people are shouting, and a couple party scenes, like where you're not going to get in trouble with the neighbors. Like you have to pay off neighbors, the people living next door. You have to find a place that's on the first floor, because if you're on the second, it's going to be thump, 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 thump. You have to, whoever's apartment it is, you have to pay for them to stay in a hotel for like 2.5 weeks. You have to pay for a moving company to come and take all their shit out, store it, and then put it all back exactly where it was at the end of the shoot. If any equipment or cameras scrape the floor, you have to pay for the repairs. Like, it's a massive headache. So I was like, okay, what about if we did a soundstage? Rent it out for 2.5 weeks, build a fake apartment set, and shoot there. And I was told that even like the most ghetto, bottom-of-the-line sound stages are about $8,000 a day.
A day?
Yes, which is roughly $130,000 just on the soundstage, not paying for people to build the set and all that shit. Another thing I learned, the tiers for unions go from $0 to $300,000 is considered ultra low budget, and there's a minimum rate that everybody has to be paid. If you go a penny above $300,000, that takes you to the low budget tier where everybody's pay jumps through the fucking roof. So I have to keep this under $300,000.
Is non-union not an option?
Non-union makes things trickier.
Does it?
It does, and it like if you don't have any union involved in a shoot, that presents some issues, and you're not getting the tier of actor you really want, like people that aren't in SAG. You're basically holding auditions like Tommy Wiseau in The Room. So, and also, I wrote one of the characters specifically for Dustin Ibarra, and he's in SAG and can't. If you're in SAG, you can't work non-union gigs. So, these are all
what if, like he breaks up with SAG for like a couple weeks, kind of like around Valentine's Day.
I never made that.
Carl.
I never made that connection that's who that character was.
Really?
Even though it's literally his name.
Yeah.
When you just said that, I was like, what character could it be? Oh, the one named Dusty.
Yeah.
That fucking, no shit. Fucking moron.
Plus, I wrote in cameos for, since it's a fake documentary, I wrote in cameos from people that I know personally, like your, Doug Benson's, Rob Corddry, Thomas Hayden Church, just them
Mark
talking.
McGrath.
Yeah, talking to the camera, telling these fake stories about this fake celebrity, just to add another little layer to it all. Which I don't know, like this could be really tricky, and I might have to cut all the talking head parts anyway. But I'm quickly learning that every step of DIY indie filmmaking is like a catch-22. It's like, oh, you want to do this thing? Well, you can't do this unless you have Form A, and you can't get Form A unless you have Form B, but you can't get Form B unless you have Form A. But if you want Form A, you need Form B. But to do that, you need Form A. It's just like, how has anything ever happened in this industry? This is fucking nuts. But, yeah, so if anybody in the Poominati lives in a one-bedroom apartment and you wouldn't mind getting a location fee and put up in a hotel for a couple weeks, holla at your boy.
Does location matter?
Kind of, yeah.
Like, are you looking Southern California specifically? Like,
oh, well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
I mean, maybe Tomas in Norway has a one-bedroom apartment and you just made a blanket statement.
Yeah, that would not be helpful. Yeah, pretty much, if you're in the Valley, that would be ideal. Because most actors live in this area, and if you're doing 15, 16-hour days, an hour commute to drive north or south adds 2 more hours to your workday, and that's just going to be fucking hell for everybody.
Now, couldn't you do it in a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment and just hide the other bedrooms somehow?
Yeah, you could. I mean, I could even use somebody's house if they have one section that you could block off and make it look like a 1-bedroom apartment. But, if you own a house in Southern California, you probably already are a producer or a director or a lottery winner, because that's the only way you get into those houses.
Okay, but it's not just so it is geographically restricted.
Yes.
But it is not restricted to 1-bedroom places.
Not necessarily. As long as
so
it can
if
be
anybody
shot
out there can help Kevin.
Yeah, and I've already
I've
put out the bat signal for fucking everybody I know, and then just begged them, like, please, just anyone you know, ask them, because there are location scouting websites, but I asked some people about them, and they were like, yeah, a lot of times they're not only expensive, but then they want one of their reps to be on hand for the whole thing, and you have to grease their palms, and it ends up being super expensive. Like, this whole thing is... I specifically wrote this script to be easy to be made on a low budget. And it just turns out nothing's easy. Even going to other apartments, like driving around and looking for apartment buildings that have, 1-bedroom apartments available. This is all this stuff. It's kind of like putting together a puzzle, and all the pieces are constantly changing their shape and picture. Like, they're going to be like, okay, so when do you start shooting? And it's like, well, I don't know yet, because I have to get this locked down and then start hiring a crew and then do casting, and then I'll know when I'll need to be shooting in here. So I can't even go around and give people an exact date yet at this point, but it needs to be done now. I have to lock down a location.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. So I know this is a long shot, but getting this movie made is going to be a long shot. So I'm taking every shot I can. I literally can't sleep at night. I spend all day thinking about this, and then when I'm tired and I lay down and my head hits the pillow, I just keep thinking about it.
Put an ad on Craigslist. That's still a thing, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't been on Craigslist in forever. That is a thing, though, I think.
Yeah, it's a thing. It exists.
Yeah, go that route. See what can...
Yeah, I was trying to think of, like, when you gave me the like filters or the requirements needed for this location. I was trying to think of something, but I actually just like punted in our conversation because I had nothing smart to add. I was like, all right, I'm just not going to reply because I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, my place wouldn't work, right? Because it's A, in Long Beach, B, second floor, C, you're paying for 3 people, right?
Yep.
And so it's like, my place is effectively checks off or doesn't check off 3 of those boxes.
Yeah.
And I think it may be someone like maybe Melvin, right? And not to throw anyone. Well, I am throwing specifically his name in the.
But he's in your area too, so
yeah, he's Torrance. So that's the one. I don't know if he's on the top floor, bottom floor, if he's in a. I don't know what his living situation is actually.
I know.
I like that you called him out by name, though.
Well, I'm trying to think of all the Poominati that live in Southern California, right? I mean, we do have a bunch of fans out here, but it's not that many that I know of, at least.
Yeah, and a lot of people are scattered all over the place. And a producer I was talking to was like a duplex would be ideal, and if you could even rent both of them, because like I said, it's 85% of the movie is in one apartment, but then there's other locations that need to be shot too. So if you got a duplex, you'd be paying for 2 people to get moved out and all that shit, but then you could film the alternate scenes upstairs, and you're not worrying about noise complaints, all that shit. I heard from somebody was telling me they shot something in their backyard for a movie that was being made, and it was like a couple days of shooting, but he paid his neighbors like $5,000 each, and then paid for them both to be in hotels. And then they had to, since it was in a residential area and residential parking in LA is a nightmare, they had to pay a supermarket a mile away to use half of their lot for parking. And then they had a shuttle service taking people from that parking lot of the supermarket up to his place so they could shoot in the backyard. It's fucking nuts.
Dude, the costs associated with making a movie are just, they got to be nuts. Obviously, you know better than I do, but fuck, dude. Every time you talk about it, like, my palms get sweaty. I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it, like I said, I've dug myself in this hole. It's fucking happening. So if I strike out and this is holding things up and I've already got some crew people on board, I got to find a workaround and just shoot it here. Like, it won't make sense. It's going to look weird. These fucking goofballs, look at this shit. They put... God damn this camera. They put pillars. You see this thing? It's a fake pillar. It's so unnecessary, but it makes it look fucking fancy.
Yeah,
and it isn't.
But what you would save on paying a location fee to use that apartment, you could do set dressing in there to hide all of that shit with that same amount of money.
I don't know what you'd be able to do to hide this fucking crown molding shit. Because it is kind of
tweak the script at all to where John Cooper doesn't live in a complete shithole.
It would be tough because a lot of the story is just
how these 2 guys are just coasting through life and not really, just barely hanging on.
Yeah. They're supposed to be like John Cooper literally eats scraps. He digs through the fucking couch cushions for lost pieces of popcorn.
Dude, when I first started working with Sprants, I was so fucking poor. My meals were, it was a can of green beans, and I would just eat raw green beans for lunch. I was that fucking poor. It was, again, It was like right as the economy collapsed in 2008, and I was making like fucking $11 an hour and living in Queens, which is, well, it literally became mathematically impossible. Like it was not mathematically possible, and it eventually turned out that way. But
goddamn,
so I've lived the John Cooper experience. I know what you're talking about here, but I don't know. It's weird because your place is nice, like it is, but like is a mean thing. It's not that nice. Like you can, I don't know. I don't know.
I definitely
feel
think you could set dress it so it would look more like what you're needing it to. I think you're worrying too much. But but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about at all.
Yeah.
So I could be completely wrong. But I feel like if you set dress those fake ass columns to just be just look like regular pillars, like squared, you know what I mean? Then that brings it down a level.
Yeah.
I think you could hide it easily. And like I said, you're not going to be paying yourself a location fee. Yeah, you'll have to pay the neighbors, get the okay, whatever the fucking apartment, whatever, you know, the landlord wants, and hotel. But the money you're saving by not having to pay somebody a location fee to use their space.
Yeah, I mean, you would also pay for a hotel. I mean, you say with Carl.
Yeah, or if you do pay for the hotel, you could make the decision that you're going to stay in the absolute cheapest hotel you can find.
I mean, I would just stay with Carl.
Well, yeah. So you would save money.
Yeah.
And you could put that into making your apartment not look so nice.
But I get that the first effort, like, I don't know, like the thought process you're currently in is making it the best possible movie. So I get you, you know.
And look, if it comes down to it, I'll shoot it here if they even let me. You know, the landlord could be like, "No, we don't allow that shit." I mean, it would be weird for a Studio City apartment building to have that rule. But who knows? Maybe they just want their palms greased. But it's like, that's the thing. When people hear like shooting a movie, they fucking see dollar signs. And it's like, this is ultra low budget. There are no dollar signs to be had here. But, you know, I have a lot of meetings scheduled. I'm meeting with an entertainment lawyer to try and make sure everything with a crowdsourcing like Indiegogo or Kickstarter is above board, and then I can launch that. Got that meeting with the director of photography. Got a meeting with a film consultation company.
Irons
is that
in the
Carl's
fire.
friend's company?
Yeah, just pushing as much shit as I can.
And that's what you should be doing. That's, you know, it's the only way this is going to get done, and you have the time to devote to it that it's going to need.
Yeah.
And now, so you got to strike while you have it.
That's the plan.
I have confidence in you.
The plan.
Geoff doesn't, but I do.
He told me.
I can show you the text thread where Geoff said you're going to fall flat on your face.
I think you have a better chance of getting this movie accomplished than we would have of beating the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, I like those odds.
I was pretty confident during that.
Well,
before that.
Moving on, I don't want to fucking bore anybody with my bullshit any further, but I had a thought pop in my mind that I thought could be an interesting MSPH poll, sticking with movie talk. What do you guys think is the better movie?
I love these questions. I love it so much. Give it to me.
Goodfellas or The Godfather?
I'm going to write down my answer, so then that way neither one of us can be accused of copying.
What do I think is a better movie, or what do I think the Poominati will think?
What do you think?
It's Goodfellas, like for sure. The Poominati agrees. I think most people would agree.
Goodfellas?
Yeah.
I feel like the older heads might go
Godfather. Not that anybody can see it.
Nope. It looks like you're just holding up a blank piece of paper. But I'll take your word for it.
I see it.
But no, I think I like Godfather a lot. But I think. I don't know. I watch Godfather. I've seen Godfather more than I've seen Goodfellas.
That's crazy to me. I watch Goodfellas pretty regularly, and just never gets old. And it's one of those movies you can jump in at any point. I guess Godfather has has a bit of that too. All classic movies do, but like you don't have to watch Goodfellas from start to end to really enjoy it.
See, I'm with you, Geoff. I think Goodfellas is better.
I just think there's an argument that could be made that it's just like Godfather is too slow. And it's a hard argument to. I love Godfather. I think it's a 5-dicker. I like the first one more than the second one, and whatever, they're both iconic. But if someone was like, hey, that first scene, the daughter's wedding took like an hour, like maybe shave a little bit off of that. Like, yeah, I feel you. I mean, I like it, but I feel you. Whereas if you're really trying to like edit Goodfellas, what are you cutting out and why? Like nothing. Like it's all awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's more recent, right? When was Godfather was what, the 70s?
Yeah, 71.
Goodfellas is 90, right? 91?
I think it's either 90 or 91.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's more exciting, it's more brutal, it's more fucked up.
Yeah, I think it's a better movie for sure.
None of your arguments are invalid.
Well, I put up a Twitter poll.
Like, this is one of those things that, no one should be upset no matter which way it goes, because both movies are fantastic.
I think it's kind of cool that Goodfellas is mostly pretty much fully based off a real story.
Yeah.
Like I was reading about was it Lufthansa heist at LaGuardia, and shit is
Lufthansa.
Love Lufthansa, yeah, whatever. That shit is fucking awesome and fascinating.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of not a throwaway story, but it was just like one of the many things that happened in Goodfellas. I don't know. That's like one of those movies, like it's in the Terminator 2 like tier for me, where it's like if you honestly just like with a straight face with your chest, I was like, Goodfellas is the greatest movie ever. I don't hate that take. It's like, okay, fair enough.
It's been a few years since I've rewatched it, but I remember Goodfellas was one of the first movies I ever bought on DVD, with the first being Basketball. But I had Godfather or Goodfellas in my collection before I had. It might have been in the first 5 that I ever purchased. So I watched the fuck out of it. And it's like I said, it's been a couple of years, but I'm trying to think through my head, like through the mental Rolodex of the movie, and like, all right, what's the slow part in Goodfellas? And it's like, I don't know, they all kind of kick ass. Like even when there's something happening that's not the most interesting thing, like them going on dates, then it's like, oh, well then there's that fucking hysterical Joe Pesci line, so that makes that scene awesome. So no, that scene does not suck. That scene does not drag. The panning shot where they're introducing everybody. Hey, I'm going to go and get the paper. Get the paper.
Yeah, Jimmy 2 times or whatever.
Yeah, there's no fat to be trimmed. It's excellent.
So guys, I have a great Dom story regarding Goodfellas.
Oh no.
But,
is this going to change our view of the commissioner?
I mean, I feel like it shouldn't. It's right on fucking brand for the commissioner. Him and I and a bunch of people went to Young Ones in Kutztown, the record store, DVD store, used video game, just everything that a poor college kid might want to have access to.
Oh, yeah.
And Dom found Goodfellas for $1 on DVD, had never seen it, refused to let anyone else buy it, bought it, watched it, hated it. He's got it at 1 star on Letterboxd as we speak. And then traded the movie in without letting anybody else who showed interest in it even have a chance at it. He just wiped it out of his life.
Did he trade it in for more money than he purchased it?
That I don't know.
They probably gave him a dime. Like, he bought it for 99 cents. Like, trade-ins go for fucking pennies on the dollar,
well,
and that's
he took
not even
it
$1.
to someplace else to trade in.
Oh, okay.
Because this was after you guys were out of school. Like we took a day trip down to.
Fucking Dom.
His movie takes are usually just so innocent and fun. And this one is kind of like, you chose violence today, Dom. Like, what the
But
fuck
as
are you
I
talking
said,
about?
Oh, this is
It's
pissing me
on
off.
brand for Dom to rate Goodfellas an undeniable 5-dicker 1 stars.
Yeah, I
Dom's
don't know
part
how
of
you
the
get that.
reason it's only a 4.4 on Letterboxd D right now.
God.
Yeah, that is a crazy low score. I'm assuming Carl has never watched it. Are you going to watch it with her?
Yeah, I do think she has never seen it. And
2 things. The Godfather was 1972, and it's at a 4.5.
ooh, so if Letterboxd D was conducting this poll, Godfather wins by a nose.
And that is on Dom's want to watch list. So he can't weigh in on this yet.
Oh man. Well, Goodfellas
Fucking
isn't
guy.
streaming anywhere. Oh my God, is it fucking out of print?
The
no.
Godfather is on the cock for free.
Goodfellas, which I'm very surprised, maybe because I owned it on DVD for so long, I never upgraded to a Blu-ray copy. But you can get a Blu-ray copy for $14 on Amazon, which I might have to do just because, like I said, it's been years since I've watched it. Carl's never seen it. I think it'll be a well-received watch.
She's probably going to be into it. I've never met anyone besides Dom who didn't love that movie.
I would love to do. Maybe you guys could do it for What the Fuck Did I Just Watch? Like, make Dom watch it again and then talk for an hour about what he didn't like about it.
That is
Like, I almost don't
a
believe you. How could you find
fantastic
fault?
idea.
Yeah, let's really run through the scenes and characters, and you pick out the flaws, Dom.
Yeah.
Tell me what you didn't like.
Poke holes in this perfect movie. Let's see what you got.
We should even do that. I mean, it'll take all fucking day, but that's really what we should do. We should do the intro, watch a scene, come back, talk about it, then watch the next scene, talk.
Oh my God.
But
I almost want to sit in the room with him while he watches it and just stare at him. Like, what are you thinking right now, man?
Yeah, just watch like some of the coolest shit ever been put on film happen and watch Dom go, what are they thinking? And then make him watch The Matrix.
Getting preferential treatment in prison? Come on. Bullshit.
What are the other 5 dickers that Dom hates? It's like Goodfellas,
The Matrix.
The
is
Matrix, Fight Club. I think he hates Fight Club.
The Matrix is one where it's like, I don't think I can ever really fully get your personality. Like, I just don't, like, if you don't like that one, I don't know, knowing Dom like I do, or what I know of Dom, I guess is a better way of putting it. If him not liking Matrix kind of breaks my brain. It's like, all right, well, I don't know. Anything. It's your complete wild card when it comes to movie taste. Anything could come out of your mouth.
Yes, he did rate Fight Club 1 dick.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm not a big Fight Club fan, but I do think it's me. Like, it's,
But you also don't think it's a 1 dicker, do you?
No, like it's one of those movies where I would have to give it 3 automatically because of what everyone else says. And like, there's cool shit that happens in it. It's just, to me, like, the whole story is just fucking weird and I don't really gravitate towards it. But like, a lot of the shit is pretty awesome. Like, if you just cut out the scene and watch it, it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah. So, speaking of films, did you guys watch anything in this past week?
I saw something you rated on Letterboxd D, and I'm very disappointed in you.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Missing. The trailer for that looked so fucking stupid.
Okay, so, wait, you watched it?
I've seen the trailer.
Oh.
I saw the trailer, and was the entire movie like set up on, you were watching different device screens?
Yes.
Like the way the trailer was shot.
So, I'm with you. I saw the trailer for this and I was like, oh my God. Like, that just seems very gimmicky. It almost feels like it would be claustrophobic to be trapped on someone's laptop screen for the length of a movie.
It's this generation's found footage movie.
Exactly. It's like an evolution of found footage. And
Which you famously hate or did.
For the most part, there are a few found footage movies that I enjoy, but they're few and far
even
between.
Recent. The first 6 years I knew Kevin Kraft, you hated found footage stuff.
Blair Witch, that kicks ass.
But then if I remember, everything kind of ruined that.
Yeah, because it just happened too much. It was everybody trying to copycat it and throw it into stories that didn't exactly need it. But that M. Night Shyamalan one, I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I thought it's like The Visit or something like that. I thought that one was really good. I enjoyed that. There are a couple of found footage films that work.
Speaking of which, that new M. Night Shyamalan movie with Batista, what's it called again?
Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin. He's sucking me back in. It looks fucking awesome, and it's
based on a book
that he didn't do. Right? He didn't write
Correct.
the book. Okay. All right. Am I right? Have you seen the trailer for that, Kevin?
Yeah.
It's the name of the book is The Cabin at the End of the World. Because I remember I saw a trailer for it when I went with Mark Rooster to see Violent Night, and I made a wisecrack after the trailer about how terrible the title was because it's just The Knock at the Cabin. And then Mark told me that it would be the title of the book was so much cooler, which is The Cabin at the End of the World.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. I don't understand why when movies get, like when somebody buys the rights to a book, they always seem to change it. Like even Goodfellas was based on a book, but the book wasn't called Goodfellas. Well, I guess.
What was it called?
Well, I'm sure The Cabin at the End of the World is too many words for advertising.
I mean, Knock at the Cabin is still a little wordy.
No, come on, it's 4 words.
4 words, it's half as many words.
All right, fuck me.
Kevin, this is the kind of stuff you have to know if you're going to be a Hollywood bigwig.
Oh, eat my shit, Shuddy boy. Was it Wise Guys, I think, was the name. Wise Guy was the name of the book. Just from my quick Google search. But I thought Henry Hill wrote it.
They probably changed to Goodfellas because it sounded less
whatever
mobby.
Yeah.
Like less. It was more palatable to the masses than Wise Guys. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I kind of got my thought process derailed there, but what were we talking about?
I derailed.
We were talking about missing.
I'm just saying, M. Night Shyamalan's new movie looks pretty awesome. I'm interested if you guys.
That's how we got derailed. Yeah, it looks good.
So I saw the trailer once for Missing and was just like, meh. But then I was talking to Ginger and Juice, and this is actually the second movie in the series. There was one called Searching from 2018 with John Cho, done in the same exact style. And I told Carl about it, who's a crime junkie, and we were at her place this weekend, and we were trying to find something to watch, and she had all these Amazon digital credits to where we could basically rent this movie for free. She's like, I'm now interested. I want to see that Searching movie. So we watched it, and it was fucking awesome. I did not expect to like it, but it's so well done and so well written, and there's so many twists. Like it never really leaves you bored. And I couldn't believe it because I was like, this gimmick I feel like is going to be annoying. I feel like it's going to wear on me. It doesn't seem sustainable, but it somehow worked, and it was fucking cool. And not only that, but it made me feel like a giant moron because they show all the things that you can do from your computer. Like these motherfuckers are solving these crazy mysteries just using different apps and Google functions and MacBook functions. I was like, man, I know how to use maybe 2% of my computer. I thought I maybe knew how to do 40% of shit before I watched this movie. But then I was just like, oh, I feel so old. Like, you can do that? You can do that? Like, everything that happens on screen is from a device, whether it's FaceTime, Google searches, YouTube videos, news stories, or mobile device screens. So the searching, the first one is John Cho's daughter disappears, and it's him just like hunting her down, like trying to find out what happened to her. And then the new one, Missing, is a girl, her mom goes away on vacation with her new boyfriend, and she shows up to the airport to pick them up, and they never show up. And her mom just vanishes. And it's just like this whole mystery crime thingy with all this sleuthing. And I mean, you figure an 18-year-old knows way more about tech and all the little secret doodads you can do than a 40-year-old man. And it blew my fucking mind. I'm like, what, you could do that? And they were both awesome. They were both four dickers. I couldn't fucking believe it. Like
I still don't believe it.
Carl and I both loved both of them. They were fucking cool.
Dude, I didn't know what you were talking about initially. Then I just Googled Missing. I actually liked the trailer. I thought it was pretty good. And hearing that you actually liked the movie, I might have to give it a shot.
I think the first one was like a tenth of a dick better. So I don't know. Maybe you could put Searching at 4.1 and Missing at a 4. The some of the twists and turns in Missing were a little harder to suspend your disbelief with than the first one, but it was still fucking wild.
Did she beat up Colombian drug lords like hand to hand?
Well, everything is done from her laptop, so she's not really doing much in person.
Okay, yeah, of course.
But she she goes on. What is there's like a website where you can, it's almost like Uber, but instead of calling a car, you can make someone do chores for you. And she finds some dude, she finds the Colombian version of it to hire a guy in Colombia to be her point man and go to the hotel that they were staying at. And that guy was like his name's Javi. He was like the coolest character in the movie. He was fucking awesome. But it's all this shit, like the inventiveness to put a story like this together was really impressive. It was so fucking clever. And I really thought I was going to be like Shuddy Boy. I was in your camp. I was like, give me a break with this shit.
Yep.
But man, was it entertaining. And
Mark Rooster gave Searching a 4 also. So
they're fucking good, man. I'm telling you. And especially you two dorks, you like those true crime bullshit documentaries. I feel like this would be right up your a-holes.
Yeah, but we're both pretty on the record that we hate the internet sleuths.
Yeah, but this doesn't really have that element to it. And when it does bring it in, it's poking fun at those people.
It is maybe more palatable considering like this internet sleuth is specifically looking for her mom. It is just like a random person that has no stake in the fight or in the game.
I want to watch them again at home so I can pause it and stuff and keep my laptop out and see if I can do the shit that they can do. Because it's like, it was also making me think, wow, they're so fucking organized too. I feel like my life would be so much more improved if I was smarter. I guess that's the most statement I've ever made. Life would be easier if I were a smarter man.
Dude, that's what I think about a lot. It's like, man, I could accomplish so much more in my day if my brain was just bigger.
Why are the internet sleuths not handling the real crimes and figuring out where Don Lewis is?
Oh, man. Is it okay? So does that mean anything to you, Kevin, or you need to explain further?
I have no idea what you guys are talking
Carol
about.
Baskin's husband. The only reason I say that is because a few days ago she started the rumor that he was found alive.
We talked about that in an editorial call, and the way that I heard it was Homeland Security said that a person within Homeland Security said that he was alive. But even the way the writer brought it up I was like, that feels like bullshit. It doesn't. I don't like unless they have a video of the guy, or in Costa Rica, and it's like, well, it's just he said she said bullshit. Like, did they actually find him in Costa Rica? So for those of you at home that are wondering what the fuck are we talking about, Tiger King, which was the biggest thing in the world
at the start of the pandemic,
during the pandemic, because it was like the one thing everyone watched on TV during the pandemic at the beginning of it. Carol Baskin's like the villain of the Tiger King. Her husband, who was missing, it was recently, as Shuddy said, found or allegedly found in Costa Rica. I think it's bullshit. Unless they actually have footage of him, like, I don't believe it.
Well, speaking of documentaries, so I don't know if you guys are on the same page as me, but I think the greatest documentary of all time is King of Kong.
I'm not, but I think it's the Five Dicker. I also like documentaries a lot more than you do, so there's that.
I like it when they're
my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
I was gonna say OJ Made in America, the Miracle on Ice documentary from HBO, and Get Back, the Beatles documentary of them recording Let It Be. I think it was that album.
Interesting. I did not see that coming.
Well, so Mount Rushmore, I can't really push back on King of Kong. That did kick ass, and that was like one of the first documentaries that I watched that I actually like told other people about. Like, dude, you gotta see this. So I might make it.
I'm not interested in it anymore, but there's no denying I was as caught up in the Tiger King saga as everybody else was. It had from my opinion, what makes a documentary great are these larger than life weirdos that you could never in a million years script, but they just exist.
This is literally what you were trying to text Geoff and I about while we were going back and forth about the Eagles-Giants game.
Yeah. So, like, the reason why I love King of Kong so much is just the characters in it. Like, you're not going to get a better villain than Billy Mitchell. Like, he was such a scumbag, such a piece of shit, but so entertaining and like, you love to hate. And then just those other goofballs. Like, there's a Donkey Kong kill screen about to take place if anybody would like to go and watch it. Like, these people were stranger than fiction. And I watched, we were scrolling through Netflix this weekend, and I saw in the new release tab on Netflix, there was something called the Pez Outlaw. And I was like, oh, Pez Outlaw. And Carl wasted no time pouncing on that opportunity. Like, oh, Kevin just pointed out a documentary. She was like, we're watching it. And we hit play. And Pez, to me, when I was a little kid growing up, my Uncle Rob, who was a very early influence on my sense of humor and all that shit, he was always like a big brother to me. When he was still living with us, he moved out when he was 18. He collected the weirdest things in the fucking world. Him and his homies used to have a yearly competition of who could find the most different and most unique moist towelettes. And some guy's parent was the judge. And they judged who had the best collection of moist towelettes that year. He also collected lunchboxes. And then on top of that, he collected Pez. And he would go, on the weekends, he would drive around our area of New Jersey, hunting down garage sale signs, and go to every single one of them to see if they had any vintage toys or Pez dispensers. Because a lot of those people just find junk, and they're like, some shitty piece of plastic, that's 5 cents. And my uncle would buy them, and they'd be these really old ones. At one point back in the day, Pez dispensers didn't have feet. So if one didn't have feet, you knew it was a super old one. And he had a decent stack of those. And I was just like, I have to watch like this documentary out. If it's about a Pez collection and Pez guys, I have to see what's up. And while it's not a five-dicker like King of Kong, it had some great fucking characters in it. It had a really good squirrely hamster dick fucking villain that you love to hate. This guy sucks. I wanted to fucking fart right in his smug mouth. And it was about this guy who his whole life essentially had a ZZ Top beard. He's OCD, manic depressive, has a horse farm in Montana or Minnesota or some shit, or maybe Michigan, something with an M. And he's a machinist, always depressed, was constantly searching for a way out of that lifestyle, and started collecting cereal boxes for some reason. And then was at a toy convention and saw a Pez dispenser, and it blew his mind. And this guy used the little money he had that was expendable to fly to Europe. I forget which country he went to, but one of the weird, sketchy Eastern European ones you don't want to go to jail in. He flew there, showed up at the Pez factory, sweet-talked his way in, and the people just gave him duffel bags full of these international Pez that you can't get in America. So he brings them back and makes money hand over fist going to, if you can believe it, that these things fucking exist, Pez conventions. Now, if you can stretch your imagination even further to imagine what an attendee of a Pez convention would look like, you get a whole bunch of those people in this documentary. And it was fucking hysterical. I thought it was great. I tried to get you guys to watch it. I don't think it worked because there was some monumental sports stuff happening, I guess, but the Pez
I
Outlaw.
tried actually on the after sports Saturday and Sunday, and I was just too burnt out to really pay full attention to it and to watch it all the way through. But I gave it a shot.
But you didn't make it.
I'll circle back on it. Yeah.
There's the Pennsylvania Pez gathering that appears to not be too far from my house.
Man, you should just go and film some Patreon videos there.
Look, it's in Kutztown.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was meant to be.
It's at the same place the cannabis festival is.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Not
it
at
makes
the
sense.
same time.
It would make sense to join the two. You just get super high and then eat a bunch of Pez.
But it was October 15th of last year.
I don't know. I kind of get fascinated by people collecting weird things. And every couple of months, anytime I'm bored, I like to go on eBay and search for three things. I search Pez dispensers, McDonald's Happy Meal toys, and Beanie Babies. And I filter the results by most expensive first. Because I just want to see how far into the stratosphere people are shooting their shot to try and get money off these things that nobody really gives a fuck about. And then you can filter it by sold and see which one of these are actually moving. And people are still spending tens of thousands of dollars on single Beanie Babies in 2023. It's still fucking happening.
That old lady spent, she said, $11,000 on a Pez dispenser?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the fucking Pez collectors that they talked to in this documentary. Yeah, they have, their whole houses are filled. Like Shuddy Boy with those display cases behind him. People,
they have like a room in their house.
Yeah, and they're just Pez dispensers. And I think they have way more Pez shit than Shuddy Boy does He-Man.
So I just did that with Masters of the Universe. The first listing that actually that is solely Masters of the Universe based is a sealed in-box graded Q70 plus Eternia playset with a price of $25,000. Buy it now or best offer.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Fucking
God!
our ages.
Someone take this mouse out of my hand. I'm gonna buy it.
No.
You have one click purchase on your eBay?
My best offer is $5. Try it, Shuddy.
Nope. I'm getting away from I'm going back to ending soonest. That's how I'm filtering my results.
I thought you were getting out of the He-Man collector game.
No. All of this stuff I just opened this weekend. So it's.
I like how you point behind you and think Geoff and I would be able to notice any changes behind you. Like it's.
Well, the figures have changed since last week.
There's so much there. I would only notice if they all vanished.
I feel like Shuddy could fill up his own room, like the crazy Pez collector dudes, like they have in their house. It feels like he's getting to the point where he could have one of those rooms for He-Man.
It's getting to the point where I have one of those rooms for He-Man already, Geoff.
Well, I thought that was like part of your living room, technically.
It is, but it's a large majority of the room's walls have display cases on them.
Now the living room's part of your He-Man room.
Yeah.
I mean, if they ever do a He-Man Masters of the Universe collectible documentary, people have to keep Shuddy Boy in mind.
Absolutely. Have you ever crossed paths with someone who is as into He-Man or even more so than you?
Yeah, does Dom count?
I mean, I'm in Facebook groups, and there are definitely people. I joined them when I was growing my collection to buy stuff, but there are
you pussy.
There are people in there with much more elaborate setups than mine.
Wow,
dude, you should get a He-Man tattoo. Just go over the top.
Well, I have this tiger on this arm. I could get a Battle Cat version of it on my other shoulder.
There we go.
I have been thinking about that, but
you can get Battle Cat tattooed across your neck.
No,
and then his butt end is taking a shit.
I'm 40
on your knuckles,
years old. This is not the time for neck tattoos.
Shuddy Boy, you and I are both in our 40s now. We both have changed very, very little. Our interests have changed very, very little. We're pot committed. This is us.
Not on the 14th, Bradley turned 20. So I officially have no more teenage children.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
How do you feel
My
about
kids
that?
are all older than I am, older physically than I am maturity-wise.
Your children are older than we were when we met.
Yes,
Shuddy.
they are.
Weird. This just became an episode of The Twilight Zone. So, Shuddy, I feel like, what, do you think when you're 50, you're going to be like, oh, God, I can't believe I like He-Man and hardcore. Like, I don't think there's too much changing left in our future. Like,
there's not.
I get shit from Carl all the time. Like, we were watching some movie, I forget what it was, but there was like some old guy in a polo shirt, and she's like, you think someday when you get older, you'll be wearing a polo shirt? I was like, don't hold your fucking breath, my dear. I will still be wearing Napalm Death shirts when I'm in my 50s.
I can't wait for you to become a Republican. It's going to be my favorite Kevin Kraft.
I did watch one more movie as well. I watched the guy that made Train to Busan, the Korean zombie movie, which is fucking stellar. He made a new sci-fi movie that went straight to Netflix called Jung-E. And it was billed kind of as a cyberpunk thing. It's in a dystopian future where everything's high-tech and super futuristic, and a lot of people a majority of humanity has been moved off of Earth to these, like, I don't know, they almost kind of look like Halos, like from the Halo franchise. Like, people just live in these colonies in outer space and shit, but there's a few people left on Earth, and there's warring factions, and there was this legendary warrior who kicked a bunch of ass, but she failed at the last second trying to accomplish her mission, so they cloned her brain, and they're putting it in robots to be perfect fighting machines, and I was like, oh, that sounds right up my alley. And I watched it, and it kind of wasn't. As much as I love Train to Busan, This one didn't exactly move the needle for me. It had some cool shit. Special effects were a little dodgy but passable, but felt a little too small. Could have been grander, could have done bigger things, and yeah, it was at best a 2.75 dicker for me.
Do.
Didn't watch any movies, but because of you two assholes, I started down a very, very slippery slope.
Oh, I know where this is headed.
Full on. Draven, not a fan of Food Wars.
After you watched several of them with him, he didn't get on board?
No, he knew what it was. He's like,
Yeah.
do we really have to watch that? I didn't. He said it was, he doesn't like all the fan service.
What's his issue with
He just thinks
anime titties?
it's ridiculous is what his say. But we watched the first season of Black Lagoon.
Oh my God, you watched the whole season?
Yeah, we watched the first
Kicks ass,
13 episodes.
Oh my Christ.
We watched the first 5 or 6 episodes of One Piece.
Oh my God, Shuddy Boy became a weeb.
He's a weeb.
This is hysterical.
You're
Oh
going to
man,
come through for some more Dragon Ball queefs.
I got so many suggestions for you, Shuddy Boy. All that He-Man shit behind you is going to be fucking anime PVC statues.
No, it's
Am
not.
I getting fired right now? Are you firing me from Dragon Ball queef?
So that's what a majority of my time was spent doing. And I hate how much I'm enjoying it.
How was the first season of Black Lagoon? Because Jeff and I both loved that first episode.
It's really fucking good. It's really good.
No shit.
There's a lot. Yeah, it's
Almost
fucking
doesn't
violent.
feel like anime.
And yeah, all the swearing, and there is a lot of
Fan service?
first of all, no, there's not much of that. First, the fucking theme song is insane.
I don't think I remember it.
I would definitely recommend just watching it to watch the OP.
Shuddy Boy knows weeb terminology. Get him!
Um,
What a pussy, am I right, guys?
theme song lyrics.
While you're looking that up, a quick update on the poll. The Godfather is at 35%. Goodfellas is at 65% of the Poominati weighing in.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's like
a vote on that.
it's like a techno beat, and the first verse of the song of the theme is, "I have a big gun. I took it from my lord. Sick with justice. I just want to feel you. I'm your angel. Only a ring away. You make me violate you, no matter who you are."
Yeah, I think Jeff and I pointed that out when we did that episode on Dragon Ball Queef.
It's fucking fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed it. And then we watched the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us, which, goddamn, it's so good.
Yeah, Last of Us is sick. It's fucking sick. I love that. I love last night's episode too. That was awesome.
It follows the game. Now that I'm up to speed on it, it absolutely follows the game very closely.
Dude, the flashback scenes that they kind of weave in there, which apparently weren't in the game, at least my brother was saying, are fucking sick.
Yeah, that flashback scene in episode 2 last night in where Indonesia.
Yeah,
that ruled. That was awesome.
that was.
And then just that stupid science talk show that they showed in episode 1 at the beginning from like the 60s or 70s. That was way better than it needed to be.
With Big Head in it.
Yeah. But this is all done by Craig Mazin, I believe, the guy who did Chernobyl, which I can't get over how much I love Chernobyl. That was just fucking excellent.
It was Chernobyl was like uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was like I've never been terrified by something, and it's true. This is all true. Like, fuck me. We really were on the brink of losing it all. Like, we almost got sent to The Last of Us because of two fucking jerk-offs in Chernobyl. Fucking crazy. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I derailed this again. Last of Us.
So good. Definitely watch it.
Kicks major beanbags. I'm all about it.
Yep. It's in the Clark Sunday, on the Clark Sunday schedule. I'll tell you that.
Why don't we, before we move on to maybe chipping away at Mount Voicemail, let's kick something off we haven't done in a long time.
Real quick,
ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for today's Random Brain Question.
Go ahead, Shuddy Boy. I'm sorry.
No, it's related to voicemails. So when we get
okay.
there, we can circle back to it.
Geoff, this is a question specifically for you.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Would you eat my butt to save my life?
Why is it specifically for me? Is it because I'm the fattest one of the crew?
Oh, what? You think I was making a Jeff's hungry joke?
I don't know what joke you're making, to be honest.
Like if some sadistic
I prefer that
madman
than Jeff's gay.
had a gun to my head and was like, I'm going to blow his brains out unless you eat his butt.
Do we do it like a prank call? Don't pick up the phone, like that documentary?
Well, no, because you have to know that this is real. This is life or death here. This guy's going to fucking straight up murder me unless you eat my butt out.
Man.
What is more funny about this question in my mind is what Kevin was doing when this popped into his head, where he was like, I wonder if Geoff would eat my ass to save my life. Like, what situation was Kevin in that was the random brain question that popped in his head?
I don't know.
I want the backstory.
I honestly wish I had an exact answer for you. I might have been pooping, but I don't know.
I mean, what happened to all that bullshit where all you think about nonstop is getting this movie made?
Well, that could have been a scene in the movie.
Man, you are the homie. Your ass. I have to eat your ass.
And the gunman will let me shower first.
Oh, all right, cool. Would you at least do the courtesy of washing your asshole?
Yeah. I'll get the loofah in there. My shower.
Yeah, I guess I would eat your ass, Kevin. There, a nice, good, clean soundbite. You make an easy edit.
But I can't. I fucking made a noise over it. God damn me. Well, you're a true friend, Geoff. I appreciate that.
Would you eat my ass to save my life?
I don't know, man. You dropped something on us in the Easter egg about you keep eating poop chicken or something.
No, he was playing poop chicken, seeing how long he can go before he absolutely has to get up from work to go poop.
Okay, I thought you were specifically eating chicken that made you poop a lot.
No. I was playing the game Poop Chicken, where
Gotcha.
I get as close to the edge of shitting my pants as possible before I waddle over or dog it over to my toilet.
What a horrible thing to think about while being posed with this question, but I can't lose you, Geoff. I would eat your ass.
All right, wow.
Now,
We're both just eating each other's asses over here.
This is not an invitation for anybody in the Poominati to fucking kidnap us and force us into this situation, okay? You will go directly to jail.
I won't press charges on it if you do that to them.
But not after Kevin eats my ass to save my life.
No, we're going to have to make it... Now that Shuddy Boy wants to be all smart about it, Now the gunman is going to make us do a fucking ass-eating triangle.
Oh, wow. You're going to human centipede to save all of our lives?
Yeah. Oh, God, I never anticipated this. Ew, ew, ew.
If that's the case, I actually would pull out and we're all going to get murdered. Fuck it.
Yeah, put us in the grave. Fuck this. Should I be all weird about it? He's fucking making noises and shit. The
I
fuck
know he's
is
going to text me after.
Ew, ew, ew.
All right, fine. Fine, we can get to fucking, what's it called?
Voicemails, yay!
Now that we all eating each other's asses.
All right, let's see. Where did we go? Oh, my God, this app is getting very slow.
The suggestion has been made to me by a member of the Poominati that maybe voicemails go into the Easter egg.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to consider.
So if folks don't want to listen to the voicemails, it's easier to avoid them and not miss content.
Yeah, I do know voicemails as a segment in itself is very polarizing.
Wait, people don't like it?
Some
No,
people think
I
it's
never knew that.
the low point of the show.
Wow. It's kind of surprising to me. Fair enough, though.
I mean, yeah, not every voicemail is, a Hall of Famer, but I feel like they often spark interesting conversations. And, we had our Hall of Fame voicemail moments with, Poop and Kathy and Chewy Lee and the Fart Wars.
The Fart Wars.
Yeah. Who can remember the Fart Wars? We lost so many great people, but, I mean, what a prize.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Your sacrifices will be remembered.
Sometimes you've got to break a couple of eggs,
Yeah, if you want to make a fart omelet. All right, let's see what this human wants. Oh, shit!
Maybe some people wouldn't have as much of a problem with voicemails if you could get them to work on the first try.
Look, it's technology's fault.
Hey, MSPA, it's Trevor from Moreno Valley, California.
Trevor, can I use your apartment?
I'm calling to drop a little sunshine on your day. Go ahead and play that video.
There's what?
Watching movies.
I want to take a poopy.
Yeah.
Take a poopy?
Yeah.
I like it. Like the movies. Not
Poopies or boobies?
That's my son saying he likes boobies. He's 3 years old. Trevor out.
So it was boobies.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you have a booby-loving child, I can't throw you guys into a hotel.
Yeah, I don't feel good talking about a 3-year-old and boobies, so I'm just going to leave it.
Well, the kid's 6 years old now, so.
Yeah, it's a voicemail from years ago. Fair enough. I guess I feel better about it now.
That kid's now 18, so it's okay. It's chill.
Yeah, we go to the strip club with that kid.
Mad Scientist Party Hour. This is your good friend and faithful Poominati member, Brian from Houston, calling to wish you gentlemen a good day and
good man.
Much love. You guys are my fucking heroes.
Thank you, friend.
I'm calling. Last time I called, I was about to embark upon a getaway to San Francisco. I had a pretty good time. Unlike what the Dragon had spoke about the food moves that didn't turn out too well, all the food I ate was really good. And I'm really just happy to report mainly that I didn't shit my pants and I didn't shit the bed.
There you go. You're a big boy now.
Step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Brian.
Good job, Brian.
I'm starting to think we should market some Poominati brand adult diapers.
Yeah, I'll sign all of them.
Yeah.
Or just some really thick underwear. Like you could really Tommy Wiseau it and also have your own brand of underwear once you start making movies. And it just would prevent any poop from getting to the outer layer of pants.
not sure that's a
not be a full-on
director's.
diaper.
I'm not sure that's a director's footsteps I exactly want to follow in. But I mean, he did make a movie that's a financial success, so fuck me, right? I keep telling myself that too. Every time I think I've hit a hurdle, I'm like, how am I going to get past this? Tommy Wiseau did it. He made a movie and completed it. Then again, he had a bottomless bank account, and they shot The Room on a soundstage, which I can't afford, but hey, I got to do it. If I can't let Tommy Wiseau beat me. This is the race this has become.
He's in a weird way, your inspiration.
Yeah.
His muse.
Yep.
Which was pretty impressive because my track record lately has been pretty skewed towards doing so.
Well, best wishes and best of luck to your butthole, Brian. We salute you.
Yeah, man. I'm impressed that you didn't shit the bed this time.
Mad Scientist Party Hour. This is Shitballs.
Yeah, shitballs.
I'm just calling to let you know. I tried to get a hold of Kevin, but I have a shit ton of the Hellraiser comics that you guys were talking about a couple episodes ago. And I'm not doing anything with them. They're in perfect condition in the cardboard sleeves. And I don't have the first edition. That's the only thing that sucks. But I have a fuck shit ton of them. I was going to give them to Kevin if he wanted them. So, get a hold of me and figure out where the fuck I need to send these things to so I can send them to you because I'm not going to use them. By the way, you guys are doing awesome. So, love you guys. See ya.
Well, thank you, shitballs. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, shitballs. It means a lot coming from you.
But
You're a tough critic.
We don't. You don't have to give us any gifts. Your listenership is the only gift that we ask for, my friend.
Yeah, the voicemail is gift enough.
Yeah.
Unless you have a 1-bedroom apartment in Southern California on the lower level that you can gift Kevin for 2 weeks. That is a gift we are looking for.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Where fucking this one?
Mad Scientist Party Hour. This November 20... No, sorry. Jesus Christ. November 2nd.
Oh, we made it to November.
Dude, we're going to be in Thanksgiving before April Fool's Day.
That's going to be wild.
I don't know what's going on. November 2nd. I'm dating, it's a big country here. I'm dating my voicemails.
Very helpful. Thank you.
I didn't know where he was going with that.
Yeah, like I'm dating somebody.
Yeah, a big country. I'm dating my cousin.
This is technically still a spooky season voicemail. Even though it's a couple days after. I had a quick question, really for everybody, but for Kevin mostly.
God.
13
Kevin,
Ghosts.
would you eat Jeff's ass to save his life?
The horror movie. I believe Shannon Elizabeth's in it and Matthew Lillard. Opinions. You know, when I was younger, I fucking loved it. I have not watched it in probably 15 to 20 years. And assuming it came out in that time period. And I've been contemplating whether I'm going to watch it again, and I don't want to be let down because I loved it so much, and I was so young when I watched it that I don't want it to, as I grow older, the movie to fucking suck. But I trust your opinion on it, so if you fucking like it, I'm going to watch it. Jeff, you should watch it because Shannon Elizabeth does not show her Nugatos in it, first of all. But there's a dead...
Yeah, we all know how Jeff hates Nugatos, so it's a plus for him.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as they're not in movies, I'll watch them.
Picking it, and she shows her fake Nugatos. You should Google it.
There are Nugatos in it, though, is what he's saying.
But
just
guys,
not Shannon
keep up the
Elizabeth.
good shit. Have a good day.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I remember I saw 13 Ghosts around the time that it came out, and I remember being like, "Wow, that was better than I expected." And I had seen it a handful of times, went a very long time without seeing it, and then I watched it again maybe like a year and a half ago, and because it was kind of hard to find. It was out of print, and then they actually re-released it on Blu-ray. But the edition they put out was super fucking expensive. I think it was like close to $30. I was like, man, that's a little too much for a 30-year-old horror movie that also wasn't all that critically acclaimed or anything. But I remember it being a cool concept. They're like these ghost hunters, and there's this crazy house where it's all made out of glass, and it's constantly shifting and moving around, and they find out it's being powered by 13 trapped ghosts. And each ghost is different. There's this one screeching lady that has a cage on her head. There's the naked lady who's all slashed up and she's walking around with a butcher knife. There's this massive monster that's all muscle bound and shit. There were cool ghosts thrown in, but when I rewatched it, it was definitely... I feel like when you watch things when you're younger, you forgive so much more, and then when you get older, you pick it apart more. And 13 Ghosts definitely has a lot to pick apart, but definitely not as good as I remember it. But the cool parts that I remember being cool were still cool. The story in itself is just very silly, especially when it gets towards the end. But I don't know. If you find a free way to watch it, it might not be entirely a waste of time to give it a rewatch. But be prepared. It is not as good as you remember it. I can say that.
It probably hasn't aged well.
Yes.
In 2001.
I mean, I love me some Matthew Lillard, especially in horror movies.
Absolutely. Hear, hear.
And he's good in this.
This is definitely a movie I haven't seen in a long fucking time.
I mean, easily 20 years. I feel like I watched it too. Because
yeah, but it has probably been.
I mean, that
definitely
was
15 to 20 years. Definitely.
That was early jerk off years for me, and I spent some of my early jerk off years whacking it to Shannon Elizabeth. So I'm almost guaranteeing I would have seen this movie.
Yeah, and then
I don't remember anything about it.
And then you just had to settle to jerk off to the ghost.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub or whatever that guy's name is.
This is fine. Oh,
Tony Anal Lube.
F. Murray Abraham? Yeah, I'll jerk off to him.
You guys want to take just impromptu crack at Shannon Elizabeth's Letterboxd D movies?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking at her filmography though, but I'm gonna X out of it real quick because I don't want to cheat.
I mean,
I'm gonna say the same movie anyways.
Yeah, American Pie has to be high up there, if not number one. Jay and Silent Bob's Strike Back. That's got to be up there.
What was your guess before Kevin just starts rattling off all of her movies?
Yeah, I was gonna go American Pie 2 specifically.
So, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is number 7.
Whoa.
American Pie 2 is number 4. American Pie is number 3. 13 Ghosts is number 5.
Wow, so she was...
Love Actually is number 1, and Scary Movie is number 2. And I think my chair just died because I just lowered significantly.
Scary Movie makes perfect sense. I just forgot she was in that. I just watched that once in my life.
Didn't she get the what's it? She got the Drew Barrymore treatment in that, right? Because Drew Barrymore was the first kill in Scream, despite being like on the posters. And you're like, oh fuck, she died in the first 10 minutes. And then I think because Scary Movie is a dedicated spoof on Scream, and I think she was the first. She gets killed in the beginning of that one,
and
right?
she's the most prominent on the poster.
Or maybe she wasn't the first person killed then. It's been a long time since I've seen that as well.
No, she is. She's the Drew Barrymore character. No, maybe not. I have not. Those are movies I have not seen in a long fucking time either. They started to get silly.
Yeah, because they started doing, they were essentially Naked Gun movies, and then I guess they ran out of horror movies, so they just started doing sci-fi and then just any movie. As long as the movie was popular, they were spoofing it. It was like, oh man, this used to be all horror shit.
Anna Faris had dark hair in the first one.
Yeah. I had a big crush on her back in the day.
Did you watch Pratt.
Just Friends because of it?
No, I feel like the first time I watched Just Friends, because I also had a big crush on Amy Smart. Anna Faris being in it was a pleasant surprise.
Was a bonus.
Yeah.
A boner.
And
who's Chris Pratt with now?
Schwarzenegger's daughter, right?
Right. Let me click into her. Look at her talent. I feel like she's a minx.
All right, let's do this voicemail.
Well, obviously, Kevin, this is country music sensation Chode McRundle. I'm calling to let Geoff know.
We queef.
Chode McGrundle. That's good. Did this guy make that up?
I mean, I've never said it before in my life.
I don't know if I've ever said it, but man, I want that to be the John Cooper follow-up movie, Chode McGrundle.
That he needs to pay attention to what's going on in the football world because Philadelphia, they're phenomenal this year, aren't they, Shuddy Boy? No,
yes, sir. Yes, they fucking are. Yes, they fucking are. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that on Today of All Days. Thank you.
I thought you were going back in time to do the voicemails. You picked the one off the top?
This is November 6th.
And good take. Yeah, Philly is pretty good, huh?
I'll tell you what, Kevin, you need to keep yourself focused.
I do.
Anyway,
Chode McGrundle.
Thought I'd call in, let you know. I'm still watching, and I haven't heard anything from the Super Bowl committee on that halftime show you guys were talking about before the Grammys the other day, and I don't appreciate that.
I'm so lost.
I need some acai bowls over here. Maybe.
Turn into Poopin' Kathy a little bit.
Yeah, what the hell is going on?
It sounds like a male version of Poopin' Kathy.
Need some acai bowls so I can take some power shits. Love you, bye.
We'll see. I don't know. I'll talk to you later. Chode McGrundle out.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Chode McGrundle.
And is that his voicemail debut, as far as we know?
As far as I know.
As far as we know.
Wow. I was like an Illmatic of voicemail debuts. What a powerful voicemail.
All right, I think we've got time for one more. Let's see what this human would like to say.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Blaine. As you guys know, it's November 8th. So for you guys,
yeah, I still got to get your package Christmas over to Kevin.
But you guys know that I've had a rough time the past couple months and everything, and it's just been gotten rough. You know about my son. He's doing a lot better now.
Nice.
And a couple other things have happened, but I just wanted to call and say thank all three of you for doing all this. It's really kept my spirits up, make me laugh. It's just, even when I'm down in the dumps, you guys always seem to make me smile, and I thank you very much. But that's all. You guys have a great day. I'll see you guys later.
Hey, nice one, Blaine. I really thought it was, and I got a would Geoff suck a dick question. Like I was waiting for that to come.
I was just curious if Geoff would eat my ass.
Yeah. Hey, this is Blaine. If someone had a gun to my head, Geoff, would you eat my ass to save me?
Well, I'm glad you got some good news in your life, Blaine. You're a good guy. Very important part of the Poominati. So shout out to you, my friend.
Thanks, friend.
All right. We got to head on over to Patreon land, and if you would like to join us, patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. There is some truly stellar content waiting for you over there. The three of us are very active, creating content around the clock. And if you just want to show some support to the homies, keep us afloat. Great way to do it. Patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. And if you would like to see these on YouTube, you can see our beautiful mugs at youtube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. And you can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
At Geoff Records.
And at MSPH Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. Speaking of Twitter, right before we bounce, let's see where the poll is at.
My poll.
The Godfather is at 31%. Goodfellas at 69%. So it looks like Goodfellas is going to run away with this one. But we'll see. There's 22 hours and 54 minutes left on this poll as of record time.
Real quick, Kevin, you're 1-0 so far in your sports predictions.
Oh, I heard about that, but I didn't get the scores right.
I mean, you were a little bit off, but you got 3 out of the 4 numbers in the score correct. So
I'm a sports genius.
Say that you were. So
Better
that being said, who is going to the Super Bowl to represent the AFC? The Kansas City Chiefs or the Cincinnati Bengals?
Oh, you know he can't help himself.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Who's going to go and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl? The Kansas City Chiefs or the Cincinnati Bungholes?
Oh.
Yeah. Nicely done, Geoff.
I love both.
Wait.
I'm trying to think of how it would come out
it's an evenly matched game, isn't it?
It really is. That really tied things up. Like I know it's the wrong sport, but like I'm picturing Harry Carey delivering the news and being like, Queefs win. Queefs win. Or if he said, Bungholes win. They're both excellent, but Queefs. Kansas City Queefs. I know my homie Richard Christie loves them. So I think...
Hey, you don't know anyone who likes the Bengals, huh?
I don't think
or
so.
Bungholes, excuse me. Yeah. No one does.
Yeah, so I'm taking the Queefs over the Bungholes. Is that like a one-game decided thingy?
Yes, it is.
Oh, we'll have an answer for you next week.
So wait, does this mean that the Eagles are in the Super Bowl?
No, the Eagles play the San Francisco 49ers. I just did not want you to pick on a game that I have emotional stakes in. That's all.
Bell. Yeah, I'm taking the Queefs, and they're going to win by 9 points.
And you just give a final score.
Yep, do it again. I will tell you, I'll give you a little bit of background. These are considered high-powered offenses.
Yeah, but I think they're going to run out of steam a little bit. I think it's going to be...
Patrick Mahomes is playing on a gimp leg, so you do have that.
Strong analysis so far, Kevin. And playoff games are tighter scoring, so good point.
I don't know how the math works, so I already painted myself in a corner by saying 9 points.
Well, that's not impossible.
30 to 21.
Oh, baby. What is the total? Kevin, you could be a sports book. The total is
I'm like that octopus that
47.
always I'm the octopus that
Kevin's
always
4 points over the total.
So you like the dog in the over.
I do like that dog.
What's the spread?
Peanut butter.
It's now +1 Chiefs. Close, Kevin. +1, but yeah, peanut butter maybe.
Yeah, +1 is the spread. And $18 is the VIG.
It's 10, but okay.
I don't. Yeah, I meant 10.
Sure.
So guys, bet the Chiefs and the points if you're following Kevin Kraft's logic.
That's where the smart money is. I have this website I'm launching called Outpunch, and it's going to handle a lot of this shit that we're talking about right now. Lots of VIGs and spreads.
Solid stuff. Hopefully I can write for them. I'll send you my resume and writing samples.
Yeah, you'll be Geoff, the line of spinach Clark.
You're on fire right now. Let's leave it at that.
All right. Yeah, we will catch some of you over in Patreon land. But if you want to hear more of Geoff's stuff, Outkick Sports with Geoff Clark.
Outkick
Bets with Geoff Clark. Doing daily podcasts Monday through Friday. Mostly covering the NBA, especially now that the NFL is done. But I think I'm going to launch a golf show on my feed, so look out for that. But yep, Outkick Bets with Geoff Clark.
Fuck yeah, check it out. And thank you for listening, friends. But until next time, something.